Okay, 4.1, number 97. I didn't even do any examples of these, so no wonder you had a question on it. What we're going to do is use a Pythagorean identity. So the Pythagorean identity that involves tangent is tangent squared, whatever we want to use for the angle, alpha plus 1 equals secant squared alpha, something like that, right? So let's go ahead and solve this for, okay, that's right. So if we solve it for secant, we have 1 minus tangent squared. And so that gives us cosine, because cosine would be 1, wait. Why am I lost? Oh, right, okay. So if we're doing the inverse tangent of x, doesn't that mean that tangent of whatever the angle is equals x? Right? So then we plug that in place of that. So instead of having 1 minus tangent, secant would be equal to 1 minus x squared. Okay? But secant is the reciprocal of cosine, so we can change that to cosine by doing 1 over 1 minus x squared. But then we just want cosine, not cosine squared. So cosine would be the square root of 1 over 1 minus x squared. And that is how they've left their answer, because you could rationalize it, but it would get even uglier. Although they did a plus. Did I do something wrong somewhere? What did... Oh, it is. Okay. Okay. Let's go through this just one more time to make sure we get it. Okay, so if the inverse tangent of x, well, the inverse tangent of x equals an angle. And we need to find the cosine of that angle. We don't know what the angle is, we don't need to find the angle. So if the inverse tangent of an angle equals x, then that means tangent of that angle equals x. So then if tangent squared alpha plus 1 equals secant squared alpha, that means we can plug this in place of that. So we have x squared plus 1 equals secant squared alpha, which is, since secant is 1 over cosine, we can go 1 over x squared plus 1 equals 1 over cosine. Wait, that is cosine, right? That's 1 over secant, which is cosine. Okay, so 1 over x squared plus 1 is 1 over the secant squared, which is the cosine squared. So then to just find plain old cosine alpha, which is our goal here, is to find cosine alpha, we just do the square root of 1 divided by x squared plus 1. Well, the only thing they've done differently to simplify this is the numerator. What's the square root of 1? 1. So your final answer is 1 divided by the square root of x squared plus 1. Obviously, I don't think I've ever seen problems like that on the final. So this is kind of something that I blocked from my memory, which is why I guess I forgot to explain it. I probably ought to include that in the notes next year if possible. Okay, questions?
Why can't you simplify the bottom then to x?
Because these are... It's yeah, exactly. Because you can't factor x squared plus 1 into x plus 1 squared. It's not the same thing. That would come out of the square root. This does not. Does that help?